Bam. Good morning, everybody. It is the 17th of February, 2019. Welcome to all of you. Let me go ahead and mute the other side here. Skip that. Yeah, we're already muted. Good. Make sure I'm getting at Debbie. Just Debbie. Good morning, my dear. How are you today? Happy Sunday to you. Andrea, you almost made it in first. Almost, girl. Hey, Jen, how are you?
Hello,
nice
Andrea.
to see you. Dang, Andrea almost had it, man. She was right there at the wire with Debbie. Just
so close.
Harvey, buenos dias.
Much love to you.
Buenas noches, Harvey. And this is late afternoon in London. Yeah. Good. Glad to hear. What's going on, Harvey? How you doing?
Hi, Debbie. Just Debbie. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you guys. Wait a couple minutes, just drink. It is coffee time Sunday for Missy Jenn and I. Missy Jenn,
coffee time.
Our Sunday tradition continues here. You're tired, huh, Harvey? Good morning, Diamonds. How are you, sweetie? Nice to see you. Alan D. Nola. Yeah, you made it to Well, it's not going to be as scintillating as yesterday. It's a nice, quiet Sunday morning coffee time stream here today. So we're glad to see. Glad to see. Good morning, Anna's opinion. Hello, Francisco. Good morning to you. No worries, Debbie. No worries. I almost fell asleep during Elvis's babbling too last night. That's why I ended it. You gotta love Debbie in there. Wait for a few more people to come in, and then we're gonna hit the road here on this coffee time. It's Georgie, Missy Jenn. I'd have to say you've been doing pretty good. Not only did you have your surgery, but you also had the passing of your mom. So I really think that you're getting a lot of stuff done. You're pushing a lot of paperwork. You have a lot of family responsibilities.
I've got a lot of stuff going on now on a regular basis.
Good morning, Joey. Yeah, I would like to.
It's all.
And Joey, I think you have your second
Joey
surgery coming up, don't you?
Nice to see you.
That's funny, Debbie. That's funny. But I think but you're doing okay. You're pushing a lot of paperwork. Like I said, you got a lot of family responsibilities and things that you're dealing with. It's one thing about Missy Jenn is she certainly bears up to her responsibility. ¿De dónde eres en California, Francisco? ¿Tú dónde es aquí? Oh, en Sudamerica. Weird to see my mom today. She was moaning as usual. Oh, Harvey. Good morning, Denise Lynn. Nice to see you today. Hope you're having a good Sunday. Oh, and Barcelona, en España. Huh? Okay.
Viva la España, la Barcelona.
It's great. In Barcelona. I remember the Olympico in Barcelona. Very, very cool. A very cool town. I remember that great shot with Greg Louganis, the great American diving medalist, looking at that background shot of him on the 10-meter platform with the skyline of Barcelona behind him. One of my favorite pictures of all time. Wednesday morning, Joey, we're going to be thinking about that. We'll be thinking about you going shopping with your daughter. Mardi Gras festivals are underway. I guess we're getting close to that. I'll have to see what I'm going to give up for Lent this year. I'm not quite sure. Not quite sure what I'm going to be giving up for Lent.
So how did the first? I should just call you, Joe, and we'll talk about that in private.
How did the first?
The first one turned out.
Yeah, how did? I think we can ask here. How did the first? Joey D. How did the first one turn out here for you? How was your recovery been from that? I'm just curious. Oh, parades almost daily. You're down there. I just love it when those. I just love it when those funerals go down the street in New Orleans. Oh, your mom can't hear well. It's a nightmare. Well, love her while you have her, Harvey. You know.
That's right.
Missy Jenn and I have both lost our mothers. Missy Jenn has lost her father in addition. Good morning, Nick Mad. Nice to see you. Love them while you have them. Good morning, Blonde. How are you, sweetie?
Hello,
nice to see you. Blonde Point here. Nice to see you. Just going to see how Joey D's various surgeries have gone. He's had his eye. Yeah, just talk loud. Talk loud, Harvey. Get a hearing aid. Well, some people feel offended when they too much AC/DC over the years, I guess, Harvey. Lover where he got him. That's it. Every time I hear Barcelona, I think of Freddie Mercury, Montserrat Cabell. Yep. Yep. Hey, Emma. Good morning.
Hello, Emma.
Every time I hear Barcelona, I think of the song Barcelona Nights, Noches de Barcelona, starring the guitarist, the great Otmar Liebert. I think he's a German guitarist. He's absolutely amazing. Amazing guitar work, Otmar Liebert. Let me see. I might drop a link for that.
If Freddie wore like a light blue color.
Yeah, you might enjoy this.
Light blue colored suit when he was on stage with the opera singing. They sang that song Barcelona. He looked sharp in that.
Yeah, Otmar Liebert. Let me see if I can get this. See if I can get this link here. I just dropped this on the side chat. This guy is some kind of guitarist here. Let me drop that. Get that off. I got that link. Let me recopy that. For those in this is what makes me think of it's one of my favorite tunes here by the great Otmar. Good morning, Shauna. Nice to see you, honey.
Shauna.
Very honored to see you out and about. There's the link for the song by the great Otmar Liebert.
Good morning, Christina.
One of the greatest modern guitarists, Spanish-style guitarists. Does a beautiful job on that Barcelona Nights.
RV Radio.
RV Radio, good morning.
Much love to you.
I guess we'll get down to it now. I want to start off today and welcome to everybody. Thanks for being here this morning. Came off an extremely, probably the busiest day I've had on YouTube in years in terms of FaceTime. And when you're out on an IRL, what we call in real life, that's what IRL stands for, in real life streaming, you never really have an idea how long you don't know how long you're gonna go for when you go out there. It depends how things, hey Vanessa, how you doing, beautiful? Hey Series 69. You never really know how things are gonna go when you go out. But if you have a place like Berkeley where I was last night, and thank you for those who were modding. Missy Jenn was on a lot of time yesterday running that mod with me. Good morning, Kevin. Thank you. I think it was also a very good stream. The thing that I've told you before, guys, about the IRL streaming, Missy Jenn, it's really the people that make. The people that you meet, the people you interact with. And if you are a people person, thank you, Nola. If you are a people person, then it's the ideal medium for you. Now, some people have agoraphobia. Some people deal with issues of not wanting to, they're private people. They don't want to engage people on the street. And you know what? That's perfectly normal. That's okay. I tend to be on the abnormal end of wanting to intersect, and I like to meet a very broad diversity. Oh, you're still in Berkeley watching me. Good morning, Beryl. I think we're just, Denise, we're just having Hill's Brother coffee today. That crazy guy scared me yesterday talking crazy to you. It's a lot of fun. And you do try to deal with people with respect. That's the key. Because if you don't deal with people with respect on the stream, then you are going to have problems, not only on the streets, but also on places like YouTube. Okay, I'm not here to, I'm here to goof around and have fun. But the reality is that these are still human beings. And I was very happy to give a buck here and a buck there. That's fine. You know, there's a lot of need out there. A lot of need. Thank you, Nick, man. I think it's one of the best things that I've done for years. And that's a preview of coming attraction as I travel across America. Doing the live streaming is going to be very interesting to go into different areas and do that. But understand the level of respect is very high on there. But I'm also going to hold my ground, as you see towards the end, is walking up the street and about 10 minutes, well, about 10 minutes before I stopped to get a final beer at that beautiful hotel, I encountered a guy that initially asked, "Hey, you got any change?" And as I whirled, of course, my camera caught, you know, your instinct is to turn. And he's like, "Oh, don't video me." And I immediately turned the camera away, but he started to try to get nasty with me at that point. Well, you know, it is what it is. It is. What about copyright stuff and incidental music? You know, hey, Happy Meal. Let's see. What about copyright stuff and incidental music in the background? If your live streaming music capture is going to be reality, you go to a place like Berkeley, there's stores jammed together, there's shops, everybody's got music playing. You're going to catch something on a stream somewhere, okay? But the reality is, to me, that's not important, the monetization of that stream. Because you got to remember, people were enjoying the content and they were tipping out as the day and the night went on. I mean, so there are definitely offsets there. But the thing is, that's really much more genuine because you're bringing people the content that they're enjoying seeing. Good morning, Marshall. They're bringing the content that people are enjoying. Good morning, Kim. That people are enjoying seeing. And this is one of the things that I try to impress on Marshall is if you bring that type of content, then people engage in that. They will support. They will support that. Yeah, now, the downside of that is that you've got to have really superb equipment to really do a good job. As hard as I tried yesterday, there was still a break in the stream at what I thought was one of the most critical points, where I was going over the history of the free speech movement and why Berkeley became such a flashpoint for student freedoms in the United States and the rights for individual expression. Well, unbelievably, in the middle of the plaza outside of the student union building and in front of Sproul Hall, the administration, good morning, Rhonda, in front of the administration building, I lost signal in there. Unbelievable. You would think that the most robust signal for Verizon would be right in that courtyard, but I guess, Missy Jenn, there's so many students on their phones doing things
sucking up the energy.
Yeah.
The signal.
And although I have 75 gigs of data a month, the reality is, I know it cuts off, Marshall. I know that a lot of times, but right now it's a proving ground to see if it can be done and to see. Remember, I'm breaking new ground on the Boyd here by bringing IRL streaming to life. So there's going to be bugs, there's going to be glitches along the way. So that last night yesterday broke into two parts, which is fine. The solution is to step up to better equipment, and that's coming. But that entails carrying a backpack with massive batteries on the back, massive bonding equipment that takes multiple networks together, Verizon, Sprint, AT&T, T-Mobile, and depending on how much you want to pay a month, we'll bond all four of those networks together. So that in theory and in actual practice, some people were able to stream in 1080, ultra high definition. Ultra high definition. I don't have T-Mobile anymore. I bought Verizon actually, so I'm very happy with Verizon. Yeah, do need the backpack, which I plan on buying. That's going to be a March or April. It's going to probably be an April purchase. Okay. Now that takes the running costs up a lot, but the top line is you still will buffer rarely. But I mean, you'll have much more ability to be in buildings and not be disturbed by thing. The downside is you're carrying a production studio on your back. Where did the side chat go on the second Berkeley video? I don't know if it's, to my knowledge, it's still there. To my knowledge, it's still there. Yeah, I still had tons of content. People enjoyed it. I went back and looked at the streams last night, and by and large, I'd say 95% of the streams are real good. You're always going to have that buffering. But the thing is, you're bringing original content. And, you know, straight talk, that's cool. But there's straight talk is in very few, you know, it's not a robust carrier. I could never use straight talk for IRL streaming, which is not possible to do that. What you need to do is have bonded carriers. Okay, that's certain technology that you carry on your back. It takes two, three. Sometimes there's some people that bond. Sam Pepper bonds four carriers together. So he was able to go to the top of the Stairway to Heaven on Hawaii, on the island of Oahu, and still stream in 1080 up on this crazy ass place. Yeah, IRL, thank you, Nola. So there'll be definite step-ups in quality, which you guys can look forward to. The important thing is testing my metal on the streets. And as you guys know, and certainly Missy Jenn, I've been out on the streets, well, for years. For 4 years, I was on the street every afternoon doing a video and then uploading it. So I'm very used to street people. I'm very used to encountering everybody. Thank you, Debbie. Debbie says, I like your content, love your street life videos. Yeah, they're my favorite things to do on YouTube. On the upside too is they don't require editing. You cannot back off from what happened. You know, if it happened, it happened. It's there. It's also memorialized. It's stored.
Hi, Scotty.
Hey, Scotty. So everybody can watch that the next day. That's really a nice thing. That's a nice service that YouTube provides. Yeah, you have to be steady and you have to have nerves of steel. I was almost faltering in People's Park yesterday. You know, when this big black guy rolled up on me and started taking issue, but I didn't have him on camera, and I just went on my way. I mean, it's much different when Missy Jenn and I were down there in late September of 2017 on our Bad Boys tour. That place was loaded with people, but the rains had washed a ton of people out of the park down there. Do you think he could do some South Chicago? Of course. Of course. Most of my streaming will be gone into places that tourists and people don't go into. Okay, like I said, I know what it looks like on the top, from the top of the Willits Tower in Chicago. I know the beauty of the Riverside Drive. But what's fun is to go to places like, you know, the hot dog places and enjoy. Good morning, Ginger, and enjoy. Hi, East Coast lady. Enjoy the food experience. I had you guys in with me in the restaurant last night. That was a lot of fun. Some people, what was also nice is people were also, hey, Ava, people were also very kind to help me with directions. Unfortunately, in my first search for spaghetti and meatballs, I ended up walking a mile out and a mile back, and then I would have had to walk an additional half mile, but I just, you know, after, you know you're going to do 5 miles of walking and you only have so much in you. So drop that back to plan B. Yeah, that's great, Ginger. I'm glad you enjoy that. I'm really glad that you enjoy it. Yeah, Missy Jenn had mentioned that Amanda was on was online. I'm not sure if he got married. Andres, hello. Don't ever ask for ketchup on your hot dog. I already learned that. Relish, onion, mustard, and hot peppers if you want peppers on your hot dog in Chicago. That's pretty funny. Hello, Johnny. Good morning to you. Yeah, don't be asking for.
Hi, Johnny. Don't
be asking for ketchup. They have this one hot dog place in Chicago. They will insult you. The people behind the counter, they'll poke fun at you if you go in there and ask for ketchup. It's kind of funny. All right, so that's it. So that's coming up. Our next, well, I'll talk about that at the end. You sure walked up an appetite. You sure do. It's great exercise. And as long as I'm able to do this at this point in my time, I'm going to enjoy it and do it as much as possible, honestly, because in 10 years, I may not be physically, 5 years. Good morning, Kim. May not be physically able to do that anymore. So got to get my licks in when I can. And, you know, when Missy Jenn's in reasonably good shape and on her, you know, with his working around her infusion schedules and other things, that's very important to me. When she needs the support to be here, to be with her, and her infusion therapy is something that I build my traveling around. And once in a while, Missy Jenn will do something local too. Okay, but I can't wear her out. As we said last year, her dream is not my dream. And I will not ever force Missy Jenn to do anything that she doesn't enjoy doing, feel comfortable doing, or has to fake it to be, you know, to be happy face. Hey, Simon. Oh, you were very sweet. I appreciate that. Everything you did. Yeah, she's looking great. I think she is. I really think this, when you think of the medications that Missy Jenn has backed off of, and, you know, it's horrific sometimes you hear the dosages that some people are on here, but whatever gets you through the day of some of these medicines. But Missy Jenn is very circumspect and very careful about the medications that she takes and quantity. And I think that she's definitely better now. I truly believe she's better in many ways than when she came here. Thank you, Scotty.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, Scotty Reynolds. Thank you, Scotty. Scotty London now.
Scott Reynolds. Yeah.
Scott Reynolds. Our great pal. Nice to see you, Scotty. So I actually think in so many ways Missy Jenn's better than when she got here on the Rancho. And I owe a lot of that to UCSF, University of California, San Francisco, the medical campus of the UC system. They've done wonders.
It's the medications, being on that new infusion therapy, and then being able to get off of a bunch of the other. Sometimes less medication is better.
Yeah. So that's good. Let's talk about individual freedoms now and responsibility. The second, and probably the most important.
Joe.
Hey, Joe Smith, probably the most important topic today. You know, I've done a lot of backing and forthing in 2018 and 2019. And the one conclusion that I came to on YouTube is that you cannot possibly please everybody out there. And this has been borne out to me the last couple of weeks as I've transitioned to a more open sort of platform. There's many more new people on, still working with some old friends to try to re-engage. And, you know, because these people did, and I repeat again, they did mean something, and they do mean something in my life. And that's an important statement. But you also have to have that individual freedom to not allow yourself to be constrained in what you do. And a lot of times my constraints are ones that were self-imposed, like by me. And then what happens is you find yourself marginalized in the community and
Mike Jetson.
Hey Mike, totally unawares of what's going on. And I didn't like that feeling over the last week or so, particularly when it came to Elvis, when people would text me and say, well, Elvis said this or Elvis said that. And I had no concept about it. But I was driving on my way home from Berkeley, and I'm thinking to myself, just a short recap. Wow, there's 290 people watching what's going on. These are all people that should also be offended and not be watching, but they're all in there watching.
Rosa.
And I thought to myself, I'm a part of the community. I have a right to engage too, and I'm going to re-engage. And that's an important thing. And what was also demonstrated to me during this whole transition period is you're going to lose some subscribers and you're going to gain some subscribers. Okay? We tend to see the downside of stuff of the people that get irritated by the decisions that you make. People that will come out on live streams and say, and I give them all type of credit for that. Hey, Cheryl, I give them all kinds of credit for that, for coming out and saying exactly what they think. And I've sustained that for years here on YouTube. But if you look at the side chat roll on a night like last night and go through that, you'll also see a lot of people that have stepped up, like Kenny G and some other people that are very happy, that never engaged on my platform for over a year, that now step forward. Mallory, you may not agree with what they say, but what some people often block out and don't realize is there's people on the other side of the balance on the scale too, that like to see open platforms. They like to see situations addressed instead of buried on YouTube. And I have a big platform to share that. And I'm going to share that. In other words, there's a lot of people that have messaged me and said, thank God you've opened up and widened the platform and engaging and having people on, and you're talking about things that are going on in the community. It's like a breath of fresh air being put in. Now, some people don't like that. They like things that the status quo, and that's cool too. They've moved on. But as I sit here today, there's more people than ever before on the channel. I'm having more fun than ever before on the channel. For sure. And I feel like it's helped me to grow a lot as a person in 2018, 2019, to finally have that recognition. As one of my friends said yesterday, Nicole Green said in her video, which I highly suggest everybody subscribe and watch her, is that the past is the past. It's what you do today. And there's been a lot of things that have been done to Missy Jenn and I. I've never seen anybody step forward and apologize for. The videos that are put up with us, the parodies, the hateful stuff that's put up about us in the spirit of hate. I've never seen anybody step forward and apologize for that. In other words, we can't say this person's totally wrong when you're doing stuff over here that's hateful and wrong. Sorry. I've been rewired. I've been rewired now for 2019. Totally different. Truth be told, I feel like I was a weak individual until 2019. Funny, engaging, happy-go-lucky, but kind of weak. Yeah, yeah, Ginger. I feel like you feel like you get held to a totally different standard because you're a larger channel, and people perceive you're given a platform. But what they don't see is that you have a right to be who you are, and you have a right to run your channel the way you want to. Which brings us to the question of responsibility. With that, to my mind comes a high degree of personal responsibility. And I've talked to Missy Jenn about this too. It's amazing when you're riding down a road and you have an hour on the road to think about things when you're coming home. Listening to Hangouts, listen to people talking. And you come to the realization that if you run your YouTube life and you worry about what's going to come out of somebody else's mouth and you're in fear, like, oh, Jesus, don't tell me Elvis said this today or said that today about Tucker and Tucker's family, and you cringe like, oh, man, I can't believe it. Or somebody else says something on a hangout or a video. It's like, oh, I cannot believe it. Yeah, that's Kurt. That's right, Ginger.
Happy Sunday.
But that's their right to do so. People can do what they want. But the thing is, last night coming home, I suddenly realized I'll never be able to control what comes out of other people's mouths, ever. And last night, I said, I'm not even going to, it's not my responsibility anymore. My responsibility is what comes out of this mouth. That I can control.
Holly, nice to see you.
That I can control. Absolutely, positively, what comes out of my own mouth. Flip-flop this week? Oh, yeah. But it's a final recognition that I'm not responsible for anybody else's behavior on YouTube, whether you like it or not. If you want to pick up the sword and fight him, I'll get that, honey. Why don't you sit down? I'll get that for you. Well, I'll get your refill.
Yeah, so make your address. Got to address the babes. You have a message to relay. I have no message today except the sun is shining. We have blue sky at the moment. Woo.
Here you go, honey.
Thank you, sweetie.
Yep. All right.
Craving lots of coffee.
There we go. Just not going to be on much longer, but it's so important, that realization on my part, that I'm not gonna try to even. I'll comment on it. But last night when I saw some of the most aggravated, irritated, angry people in there,
I did cut it about an inch myself.
In there watching Marshall stream, I was shocked. Because to me, if you really didn't want that channel to be sustained and be successful, you wouldn't be in there watching it. Would you? But 290, 300 people. And some of the people that are complaining the loudest about behavior and, well, I'm in there to troll. It feels good. Well, that's your stick then. But when you're not modeling the behavior that would bring success, you can't expect other people to do it, to model that. That was what was in my mind last night, that I'm not going to marginalize myself for anybody, including myself, to do dumb things. I'm going to be as engaging and involved as anybody else in the community. And I'm going to have anybody on my panels that I want and run my own shows. Doesn't matter, Cornell. If people didn't know, Kenny, you're fine. I mean, you're honest. Kenny says, I'm done with a lot of what I've taken part of. Guilty? No. There's definitely people have a feel-good factor in that. But when you understand that you're just being used as a tool for views and nothing more, and that your presence is very welcome and expected, and the banquet table is set for you nightly to show up and partake of the feast, then we can't be surprised if the emperor gets heftier by the day, and right? He's being well fed on a daily basis. I'm just keeping it real. Thank you, Harvey. Hey, G Mangoes. You too. I'm going to just refill my own here real quick.
Ginger says, I spent 2.5 hours on the phone with my oldest sis last night and missed the YouTube event. And I would like to just say that it is sometimes more important, well, actually, it's always more important to talk to your family. You can always go back and watch YouTube later. Real life and family comes first. 2019 has been a year of change for me and for a lot of other people. And I always say, La Familia, La Raza comes first. YouTube comes second. So, Ginger, don't feel bad about, you don't miss anything. You can always go back and watch stuff anyways.
Oh, Ginger's awesome. Ginger's awesome. That's my.
And Ginger says, thank you, Missy Jenn. That's advice I needed to hear. And I mean, I'm really speaking from the bottom of my heart when I say that, Ginger, because that's how I truly feel. And, you know, that's how, you know, you shouldn't feel guilty about anything. You've done the right thing. You've done the proper
Ginger's
thing.
awesome sauce.
And anybody else that does that, that talks to their family and misses a YouTube hangout, don't feel bad about it. You've done the proper thing. Your family comes first.
Yes, Ginger, at all times. There's no doubt.
YouTube will always be here. Family will not. So
now, individual freedoms. One point was brought up last night. Is it right to restream people's streams? Early on, Becca asked if Dave could restream. I said no. Later on, Vinny asked. I said yes. Reason being is we were much deeper into the hangout. My personal thought is if you're putting up your own stream, short of having permission from somebody to restream, it is your stream. It is your channel that you created. You should be able to have the viewership on that channel, but individual freedoms says that a Tucker can do whatever the hell he wants to do. Individual freedom. That a Vinny G can do what the heck he wants to do. Personal freedom. To which I say, yay, you're using YouTube and having YouTube exactly the way you want it. Tucker prefers to use it, which I love, as a platform for doing good works. Out of nastiness comes good. And Vinny G does just pure balls on entertainment. Individual freedom to do exactly what they want to do. I don't constrain their freedom. I say, well, you're in the risk zone. If you're caught by YouTube restreaming, just continuously restreaming someone else, then it's very likely that you will get a strike. it's very likely your channel will be terminated.
Annabella. Nice to see you.
Yeah, Benny G's chats are just, hey, Alabella, how you doing, honey? That's called, yeah, I'm always, I think this camera lens is a little, yeah. That's called the individual freedom to do as you wish on your channel. Now, if I was to tell Tucker what to do on his channel, or if I was to tell Tucker, hey, let's turn down the heat a little bit. Let's turn your channel into a kumbaya, tree hugging. Let's all love one another, and we can change the world with happiness and a smile. I'd like to buy the world a Coke and keep it company. Right? Tucker's going to laugh me out of the building. Tucker's going to say, hey, Rosie, move on your shit wagon and roll on. Don't tell me to have a Berkeley snowflake kind of hangout. It's not my style. I like that about Tucker. Number 2, I'll tell Vinny G, Vinny, don't restream Elvis. You're going to lose the channel. Vinny CG says, Rosie, dilly gaff. Do I look like I give a fuck? And of course, Vinny doesn't. Vinny's running that channel right up to the red line. And if I told Vinny, let's have a feel-good channel. Let's all join hands across the board in a drama communities. Let's plant a couple trees. Let's put up a maypole with streamers and let's dance around and let's change the world with happiness. Vinny would say, okay, Rosie. Yeah, no problem, Eva. You'll get your wish. I'll straighten up. I have the blue hair on tonight, probably. But I'm saying there's no way Vinny G would ever allow anybody to tell him how to run his channel. Okay? You go there because you know exactly what you're going to get. You're going to get a feast of entertainment. You go to Tucker's because you're going to get a feel-good factor. You go to mine because you don't know what the hell you're going to get. And that's what makes, that's the glory. That's the glory of YouTube. Yeah, you might say all jump in the pile. Exactly. How you doing, classy redhead? How you doing, easy listening lounge? Exactly. So that's it. The individual freedoms and the responsibility. I think the personal responsibility is the most important thing. What comes out of your mouth? Past is the past. I've learned from the stuff that I've done last week. I've learned from the stuff that I've done last year. As we all have. But I see very few people racking their conscience and coming out and saying, gee, I'd like to do a video apologizing for the stuff that I've put up about Rosie. No, to be like, oh, no, I stick to that because of blah, 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 blah. Well, that's cool. That's your right. That's your individual freedom to do that. Next, yeah, it's like a grab bag. Next week, thank you, Ava. Next week is going to be Reno. We're going to have our friend Tom's coming up from the Central Valley to stay here at the, he wants to get out of the house. The weather is doing good. He wants to come over to the coast here. He's going to be here over the weekend, keeping an eye on George and keeping an eye on the place. So we're going to be heading up to Reno and I think having a lot of fun. Up there, we will be doing the streaming. It's going to be cold. It'll be like Missy Jenn. It'll be our little winter carnival up there. We'll have a lot of fun. I'm sure I'll do a very long street walk again, just like I did last time, up and down Virginia, South Virginia Street. It'll have a good time. We'll have the underbelly of Reno. Last time I brought you the abandoned casino on the outskirts of town. We'll restream. We'll be streaming Missy Jenn. We'll be back at that drive-in wedding chapel again, where we ran into the people climbing in the dumpster and doing. There'll be a lot of good stuff coming up. How you doing, Lena? Yeah, it's gonna be, the snow's gonna be so deep up in those Sierras. We're gonna be like we're traveling through a tunnel. Okay, we're gonna be traveling through a chute. I don't know how many, 10 feet of snow up there, Missy Jenn, 20 feet of snow, 100 feet of snow, who knows? They've had so much snow piled up in the Sierras. People can't even get to the damn ski resorts.
It was crazy.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. Hey, JKM.
It's gonna be.
Now, the downside is, without bonded service, without bonded internet, bringing 2 or 3 carriers together for one strong signal, you can't stream through the mountains. They don't have a lot of cell towers up in the Sierras. You have just enough cell signal in case of emergency. You can pick up a 911 call. But other than that, you don't have a robust enough towers to do that. We may roll up to Virginia City again. I don't know. Going to research and see what the cell signal. But it's a very interesting town. The problem is, it's going to be 5 degrees colder, 10 degrees colder than Reno because the altitude is so much higher up there. I think you're something on the order of almost 7,000 feet.
It's going to be like 30 degrees during the day.
Yeah, I have taken lots of video. I will do a video going through as we do over Donner Pass. We may stop at the Pioneer Monument this time again to show you guys and explain a little bit of history about the Donner Party, the ill-fated Donner Party of 1846. It got too late of a start going from Illinois to California, got stranded in the Sierra Mountains, and ended up resorting to cannibalism to survive what the Donner Pass is named after. The tragedy of the Sierras. I mean, that's the worst mountain to come across when you're coming to California. Not the Rockies, not the Wasatch. The Sierras, because here it doesn't snow in inches. It snows in yards of snow. Hey, RC, can you go to the Mustang Ranch? Happy Meal. So we'll be discussing that history again. I think that'll be fun, Missy Jenn. We're supposed to have good sunny weather, good crisp weather, which will be delightful. We have endured the worst stormy weather of my 20 years.
Outfits, hopefully.
Yeah, we're gonna get all dressed. Hey, Sig, how you doing? Okay, you take care, Joe Smith. You take care. So you got that to look forward to. That'll be a lot of fun. We'll do the underbelly tour of Reno, which is always good. Pop into the odd bar, have a beer, have a good time, and show you guys Reno again. I'll probably do a little research and look at some other things to do too. Yeah, Ginger says Texas is as far west I've been. I travel vicariously through Rosie and Jen. That's cool. Yeah, Virginia City is a good stream. Now, the problem I have is 2 things. I almost killed myself with the altitude. One time, if you look at the 2015 video of our travels to Reno, the what did we have, Jen? We had, it was called the Reno Halloween zombie crawl up there. We went up there in October. We did the Reno zombie crawl. We got all decked out. I had my little Marilyn Monroe skirt over the vent at the hotel. But we went up to Virginia City. I went to push Missy Jenn up a hill in her wheelchair, like a 200-foot hill on probably a 20% grade. And I almost passed out. I could not get my breath up there.
They don't have the sidewalks.
That's number one, is the altitude is brutal. Number two is that there are no sidewalks. It's all the wooden plank 1880s, Bonanza 1870s, 1880s planked walkways. And I'll tell you, you talk about jarring your teeth if you're Missy Jenn. Now, of course, she has takes a pad, but it's brutal.
They got snow right now in Virginia City, and it's 23 degrees right now.
Yeah.
There. Virginia City is like really.
But we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. The most important thing is if Verizon gets good signal in Virginia City, and you can go to a Verizon coverage map and be able to tell. We went to Carson City last time. Rolled around Carson City a little bit. This time, if the weather permits, it'll be Virginia City. And we'll do the underbelly tour of Reno and have a really good time. Rolling around. Trying to try to get an earlier start on Friday so that we can take advantage of our 2 days up there. Yeah, I think so. Low profile. I'll probably be doing might do a blue wig with the Space Girl tonight. I'm not sure. Not sure. Yeah, Bloody Mary's at the Bucket of Blood. There's a lot of cool stuff in Virginia City. You have the old Opera House. You got that magnificent schoolhouse, and you can see. I did a cinematic Reno last year. A lot of amazing stuff to see. The old schoolhouse and all that. Hey, Gabriel. Yeah, zombie crawls are great. You know, it was a really good time. You can see that whole travel video of us in Virginia City and well, I think that's going to be a wrap. That's just my thoughts on the IRL streaming and what I'm going to do to try to improve that going forward. The individual freedoms and the responsibility that comes with that on YouTube. And also what's upcoming on our travels to Reno next weekend. We always know where we're going to eat. Don't we, Jen? Last time we had, you know, sometimes the Cal Neva is up and down, but they hit it out of the park last time.
Hi, Nathan.
For us. How you doing, Nathan?
And Sharonila.
I mean, when I can have a $4.99 prime rib, woo, $5.99, whatever it is. What is the beer? A $2 beer. Damn, I'm happier than a pig rolling in you know what. That's for sure. No, I haven't, Evil Abe. I haven't thought about an adult camp. Okay, Beryl. But I'm going to go ahead. Take care, Ginger. Nice seeing you, honey. I'm going to go ahead and close this out. Thank Missy Jenn for being in another Sunday coffee time here today.
I've been to adult camps in Yugoslavia, and it was fun.
I'm sorry, Cobra John. I went to that Boomtown buffet one time, and I went outside the door, and I just heaved that dinner. Didn't even make it over to the dumpster to cut loose, right on the parking lot. Tater tots. Hey, how you doing, Steve? RV Shadow now. So y'all have a wonderful day.
Much love to y'all.
See you. We got a delayed Friday night foodies. It'll be coming up. You can look forward to that. We'll be seeing Bobby. He'll be coming over for dinner tonight. Spend a little bit of time.
It was a good surprise, the foodie thing.
Yeah, we got a good surprise. Friday night foodies will be coming up. I'll be editing that today and putting that up.
When it comes up.
And I want to thank Polly, everybody else, Simon, Cobra John, for being on the stream. Okay, Nathan, everybody else.
Nathan.
Harvey, thank you.
Harvey, love ya.
Have a good one.